Hey YouTube, Alex here, and in today's video I kind of wanted to talk about this idea of starting an online side hustle. I know that many of you are curious, how is it that you make money online? How is it that you can make money online with a certain skill or with a certain business that you have or these kinds of things? And I'm not going to get into specifics as far as what kind of hustle you should do. That's really up to you to find out. There's tons of resources out there to figure out a way to make money online. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy or that it's fast. In many cases, the skills take time to build up. The business takes time to build up. There's a lot that goes into it. You have to be pretty sharp. You have to have some business sensibilities. You have to be capable of budgeting. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into these kind of tips that I think are more relevant to the general idea of getting into one. And yeah, so the first one I'd say is get it going before you leave. You don't want to be showing up in a foreign country with enough money to live for 3 months and the hope that in 3 months you'll be making enough money to live there every month. This is something that you should have going before you leave. You should have, if you're going to build a website, have the website set up before you leave. If you have a certain threshold of what you feel like you need to be making every month before you leave, establish that. Maybe you've got substantial savings, but you don't want to burn through those savings. You want to also have some income coming in. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. This isn't tax advice or business advice. Definitely consult with licensed professionals if you want to explore the finer details of these subjects. But don't just buy the ticket and assume everything is going to work out, because I've heard a lot of horror stories, read some horror stories online of people that just did not really plan things out, and they ended up in a different country than their home country without any money, without the capability of speaking the local language effectively, just all around a situation that could easily be avoided by putting in some sweat equity before you leave. So perhaps if you're interested in starting some kind of e-commerce business, don't assume you're just going to pick the product whenever you get over there. Have some ideas of what you want to sell. Maybe you're a golf expert and you want to sell golf related stuff. I'm not sure, but definitely consider the skills that you already have and be willing to kind of iterate on those. So you know yourself more than I do, and I'm sure that you'll find something that you're good at that has some level of potential for monetization, or maybe you learn a new skill and you mix them together. Just think about it, consider your options. So that being said, I do want to mention, don't count on making certain numbers. So don't go with, say, 6 months of savings and sign a year lease thinking, oh, well, after 6 months I'll make enough every month to pay all my expenses. Make sure that you have a financial cushion substantial enough such that if your business doesn't pan out, maybe you lose your account, maybe you accidentally break a rule, maybe business just doesn't take off, or maybe it slows down, maybe you're not really sure, maybe you have a couple of good months and you think, oh, it's going to be awesome, and that turns out that it was your high season and your business isn't as good during other parts of the year. So don't just assume, oh, my good months are going to be every month. That's not always the case in entrepreneurship, and you have to be prepared for financially slower months. And on top of that, consider you may have unexpected business expenses. So maybe you go over to a country with a year's worth of savings, and then all of a sudden your business is taking more money than you thought it would to get started, and use up several months of expenses. Well, that really just cut down some of your time, and once again, that doesn't guarantee it will later make a profit. It's really something that you have to be careful about, because I think that entrepreneurship and online business is often idealized as this quick ticket to riches or an easy way to make a lot of money. And in fact, it's really complicated, it's risky, it's challenging. It's not, I think, nearly as easy or straightforward as it's made out to be at times. But yeah, just be prepared for the ups and downs of business. The next thing I'm going to mention, consider how internet speed is going to affect your business. So let's say your business relies on strong internet, like for the sake of discussion, you're a coach. You want to do coaching sessions with people, and you need to be able to use Zoom or Teams to connect with them. Well, if you're in a country or a location that has really bad internet service, and there's no way, even if you pay a lot, to get high quality internet service, that could affect your business. So let's say you're looking at really the lower cost areas, perhaps some more rural areas, places that are out of the way, small cities in other countries. Consider that you may not have that high quality internet that you rely on to be able to serve people effectively. It really becomes challenging. It's one thing if it's hard to watch Netflix, but it's another thing entirely if you're not able to serve your clients and you're having a hard time getting paid, not because you don't want to do the work or you don't know how to do the work, but simply because you didn't plan ahead for high quality internet. Don't be afraid to call up hotels and ask, send hotels emails, contact Airbnb hosts and ask, hey, it's really imperative that I have high quality internet to be able to do my job effectively. Can you share with me what the internet speeds are like in your area? Are there any downtimes? Are there any times a day that get particularly heavy usage that the internet may slow down? Because these kinds of things, like I said, may not be a big deal when it comes to your entertainment, but when it comes to your work and you're relying on your work to pay your bills and to budget, plan for the future, make investments, you really have to be cautious about some of these ancillary factors that really play a major part in your success and the ability to make it sustainable. Because let's say you go to a place and you sign a lease, or you get a month-long Airbnb in a place, and you find out after 2 or 3 days the internet's terrible, there's no solution. Well, you may not be able to get that money back. You may take a heavy penalty. You may have to spend more on transportation or last-minute flights to get to a bigger city. These are the kinds of things that you want to know about before attempting to go to a given country or city and attempting to start working there. The next thing I want to mention here is you want to consider how you're going to link your payment method to your bank. Depending on which country you're from, there's all kinds of different payment methods. There's all kinds of different banks. And you want to know ahead of time how you're going to be able to use the income that you get to pay your bills, whether it be paying for your hotel, paying for a condo or apartment, paying for food at restaurants, getting delivery food. All these things cost money. They can be much more affordable in these other countries than perhaps UK, Canada, Australia, the United States, etc. But they're not going to be free, and they're going to expect payment. So you really have to be prepared for that, and not just think, oh, well, I've got $1,000 cash, I'm sure I'll figure it out when I get there. No, it can be challenging to get a new card, or you might have to pay big fees if you're trying to do that kind of on the fly. So planning ahead for that, I recommend Charles Schwab Bank for international travel. With Schwab, you basically get reimbursed on your foreign ATM fees. So that's something to think about as well. But you don't want to go with a lump sum and make the assumption that you're going to be able to just get more money when you get there without significant fees or hassles. I know that in Thailand, for example, the ATM fees are, I think, around like $7 usually, $7.50. And then sometimes your bank will charge you the same. So you could spend $15 just to get some cash. And so that really can eat into your online income, especially if you don't make as much use as you did in your home country. Then you might have to skip out on certain kinds of things in your budget just to make sure that you're able to get cash and not overrun your spending just in added fees. The final thing I'm going to say here, make sure you follow all the visa working and tax laws. I'm not a CPA. I'm not licensed for financial advising. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you consult with one of those professionals before making any major decisions. But you want to follow the visa and working laws in a given country. You don't want to go to a country and be working illegally. Make sure you study those, you understand ahead of time what those are, what you'll be allowed to do, what it will take for you to be legal, so to speak. It varies from country to country. I'm not an attorney, but I definitely know ahead of time, because you don't want to get in big trouble with another country because you have inadvertently worked without following the process. So anyway, if this video has been helpful, definitely let us know what you think down in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Maybe you've got a side hustle. Maybe you're exploring a certain side hustle. Maybe you tried one and it didn't work out. I've certainly had that experience. But your comments really, really help out, just kind of generate that sense of community, and we can kind of continue to grow. So also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love it if you could subscribe and join the journey, and we will talk to you soon.